Guys, without further ado, let me start. I'd like to first welcome you for taking the time out to come and hear what we are here to share with. Just to give you the first rules of engagement. Guys, when you join, please can you mute yourselves? And once after every presentation, we will offer you an opportunity for you to ask questions. When you feel like asking questions, you can raise your hand and then you can unmute yourself and ask your question, right? If you don't know how to raise your hand, you could just say out your name and then we'll ask you to ask your question. Please note, we are recording this presentation and we plan on sharing it on our YouTube channel because we still wanted to reach as many high school learners as possible. And we'll also on TikTok, we are live so that we can reach a wider audience. Okay, so just to let you know, Uplifted Abroad, which is the company that my sister and I have initiated, I think it was January last year. It is a personal development brand that is dedicated to elevating individuals to their highest potential. And our primary objective is to empower people to successfully leverage study abroad opportunities and pursue their academic and professional aspirations. And we do this by offering personalized guidance, comprehensive support, and a focus on holistic development. Now, at Uplifted Abroad, we believe in nurturing the whole individual, helping them to thrive academically, professionally, and personally. Next slide, please. So, when we look in our communities, we have realized that as people of color, we do not have a lot of mentors in our communities, which results in a missed opportunity when it comes to access to information. Sometimes we think that the only way to doing something, which is what makes us discouraged, is we only think there's only one way of doing things. And when things do not go according to plan, we feel that we're failures. So we are here to show you that the road to success is not one-dimensional. And through sharing our journeys, we want to motivate others who might be feeling stuck that there is a way of optimizing their full potential. The Gateway to Success is going to turn out into a series of workshops that are targeting, now we're including grade 9 to 12 learners, focusing on exposing them to careers that are not often talked about. There will also be some personal development coaching to help you make choices that align to your future goals. We're going to have various guests from different sectors who will come and talk about their careers with respect to what their job entails and what qualifications one needs to pursue in order to have such a career. And today, I am so happy to announce that we're going to have Professor Basitera, who is a professor at UCT, who's going to be talking about why study STEAM subjects. Okay, without further ado, I'm now going to go into my story so that you can get to know me better. So I am known as the effective executor. My name is Ntomfuthi Bingo. And just to give you a little bit of background, in high school, I was very good with mathematics and chemistry. So it made sense that I would follow a science career path. So my mom was like, okay, you can come and do your BSc at the Northwest University, which is where she was working. But then after a year, she was like, why don't you switch to chemical engineering? Then I did just that because I am the effective executor. I registered for chemical engineering at UCT. And after my second year, I was academically excluded. Now, instead of thinking that that was the end of the road, because I even had one of my lecturers tell me to my face that I was not cut out to be an engineer, what I did is I just changed institutions. So I went and continued with a national diploma at CPUT, where I completed my national diploma, my BTech, and my Master of Engineering in 2021. So after graduating my Master of Engineering, I was working as a technician at the university. And it made sense for me to try and look for a academic position, to transition to an academic position.
Excuse me, can you just
Palesa.
mute yourself? Thank you. Palesa.
Can you kindly mute yourself? Thank you. Sorry about that. So at that time, I was working as a lab technician. So I figured, you know what, I would like to transition into an academic role because I loved interacting with students. I loved motivating them to try and look outside the box. And I felt that as a technician, I did not have sufficient time to do so. So I was applying for lecturing positions, but then I was not able to get any feedback from the applications that I had submitted. But my sister was like, listen, there's an opportunity for you to do your PhD abroad and it is for free. So I went and did my research, I applied, and in 2022, I relocated to Ireland, where I am now currently doing my PhD in civil engineering. So once I was there, I was also appointed as an international student ambassador. And that's when I realized that actually quite a number of international universities are trying to actively recruit students from third world countries in order for them to come and pursue their qualifications abroad, obviously with the intention that they're plowing back into the communities, because we know that higher education is based on 3 pillars, which is your learning and teaching, it is your research, as well as your community engagement. So we then designed this company called Uplifted Abroad to share these opportunities. And if there's one thing that I want you to take away from my story is that never let someone tell you what you can or cannot do, and the power lies in your hands. Because had I listened to that lecturer who said I was not cut out to be an engineer, I would not be sitting here today doing a PhD in engineering. Abuti Rodney, I hand over to you.
Hi, Ndombi. Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Right. So thank you for this opportunity and for you guys to be listening to me. So as said, my name is Rodney. So I am not well known as a go-getter. I'm somebody who, when I want to do something, I will just go out there and do it. And just to give a little background about myself for you guys to get to know me. I was born and raised in a village called Kamajosi in Limpopo province. And I also went to a public school known as Komandane High School there in the villages. So when I was in matric, I actually wanted to be a radiographer. I was studying, your physical sciences and mathematics. But I was not that good in those subjects, but I was just an average student. But however, when I passed my matric, I went to study analytical chemistry at TUT, of which things did not go well. I ended up dropping out. And then I had to actually just think about what is it that I'm really good at, because then I've realized that issues to do with the sciences and the chemistries and all these things, were things that I was not really good at. So I had to actually just look into what was best for me. So I ended up studying social work as a profession, which is something that it resonated very well with me. So while I was studying towards the end of my bachelor's degree in social work at the University of Venda, so I was awarded an opportunity to do an exchange program. So an exchange program is basically wherein 2 universities will be collaborating for students to visit each other in terms of exchange of knowledge and also of information. So on my case, so I was selected to represent the University of Venda together with other students in Germany at a university called Hoch University. So that was my first international trip. But I think that one just actually opened my eyes to realize that, the world is actually bigger. There's more to the world than being in South Africa. in terms of, exploring further. So I just had an interest in terms of wanting to go abroad, to study abroad and do other things. So I then applied for quite a number of scholarships in order to go and study abroad because I didn't have the finances to do so. And so many people that we knew, who have studied abroad, they never shared the information or how they got on it. So in 2021, I was awarded a scholarship to pursue a master's degree in the Republic of Ireland, which is in Europe. And I was oh, okay. Yeah. So which is in Europe to pursue a 1-year program, which I did. And at that time, I was working as a social worker in South Africa, of course, in one of the government departments. So I had to resign to pursue my dream of, wanting to study abroad. So, and then I completed that program, which was in 2022. And then there are some background noise. Can everyone make sure that you mute your mics, please?
I muted my.
Ayanda, if you are able to, from your side as the host, if you're able to mute everybody, I think that would be helpful. And so as I was saying, because I just got a little bit distracted there. So I completed my program, and then so as now I'm currently working in the United Kingdom in England. It's where I live, practicing as a social worker, which is great. So, but what I want you guys to take away from my story and my experience is that, it was not easy for me to navigate through this journey because of not having information that is, enough for one to get to a particular level. But we are in this platform here to be able to share that information so that, you guys, you don't have to struggle to know how things are actually done. And the other thing, I mean, when I was in high school, as I've said, I've studied physical science and chemistry and mathematics. If you were studying those subjects, you were actually, maybe regarded as somebody who was very smart, and people who did other subjects were regarded as people who were not that good enough. But that is not the truth. And I think as we move further, we'll get to understand this better. Thank you, Ntombi.
Thank you, Rodney. Thank you for your story. Okay, so hi guys, my name is Ayanda. I am the avid dreamer. Also, I mean, similarly, we can say we share the same sentiment across all three of us, Stomfuti, Rodney, and I, where our story wasn't always that straightforward. Currently, I'm a merchandise planner working within the retail industry. I've worked for some of the major retail companies within South Africa, but I also didn't have a straightforward start to where I am today. I started out actually failing and getting kicked out of university for my first degree. I was at UCT studying mechanical engineering. The reason behind that is that if you are over 30, you would know that engineering used to be a buzzword around the time when we were in matric. And if you were good at maths and science, it went without saying that you'd have to go and study something within engineering. And my mom was like, you can study anything you want as long as it's in engineering. I knew deep down that I wanted to study something within the creative arts, either graphic design or fashion design, but because my mom didn't really give me an option, I went to UCT and I studied engineering. And once I was there, in my first year went well, second year didn't go so well, because once we went for practicals, I could see that I could not see myself doing this for the rest of my life. We were doing wealth, we were doing lathe, and I was just like, this is not me. I then also lost interest in my studies and I wasn't necessarily pushing myself. And and I ended up failing and getting kicked out. Then I went the extreme opposite end and I studied fashion design, which is what I really wanted to study at the beginning. After doing my fashion design qualification, I then did another design qualification, which was surface design. And the irony of my whole story is that the very first job that I got was actually because I had a combination of the qualifications that I'd studied. They were quite interested in the fact that I had done engineering at some point in time, even though I hadn't completed it. And I got a job in the fashion industry. It was only once I started working and growing my career that I then started studying towards business qualifications, which was actually what they wanted for that role. And I leveraged the opportunities that I got within those companies to study using company funds. So what I want you guys to take away from my story is that, firstly, it's never too late to start, because I actually only started working after studying chopping and changing and all that. I only started working at the age of 27. But if you were to meet me, you wouldn't really say I started working at the age of 27. Also, it's never too late to pivot your career as well and go for what you really want to do. And also leverage the opportunities that you get along the way to get ahead in life. You know, I used company funds to advance my career and to advance my studies. So that's what I want you guys to take away from my story. Currently, I am a co-founder of this initiative, Uplifted Abroad to Success, with my sister. So besides the work that I'm doing within the retail space, I'm also a businesswoman, and I'm trying to reach as many young people as I can with these opportunities that we know about, which are to study abroad. Okay, Professor Basitere, introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Moses Basitere. My story, I think, begins probably in 2002 when I matriculated. I was born in a province of Limpopo, probably you can see from my shirt, in a place known as Venda, in one of the rural area. I studied in one of the school known as Beauty Secondary School. I would say by the time when I was in that school, probably I was in the top 10 of the school. I was very good in mathematics and physics. So I passed matric very well by that time. And obviously, as you know, that when you've done very well, you think, you know, you want to go to the best university in the country. And obviously by that time, it was University of Cape Town. Then I moved in 2003 to start my first year to study chemical engineering at the University of Cape Town. First year, things were a little bit tougher. Then I moved to extended program. I survived my first year. After first year, I moved back to the mainstream. When I was in the mainstream program, that's when things came crumbling in 2004, where I faced the same fate as Ntombi. We got excluded. Excluded means that you fail and they kick you out of the university. They say you don't belong here. You don't have enough credits to belong here. And then they kicked us out on that moment. And then obviously you didn't want to go back to Limpopo in Venda. You were scared a little bit to go back home, for people to say, you know, you were the top student, you know, you're back home sitting down, lingering in the street, doing nothing. So the only easiest thing to do was to move to a University of Technology. Then I decided to move to what was known by that time, the Cape Technikon, which is today known as the Cape Peninsula University of Technology, which is a merger between Cape Technikon and Pentech. So now to continue to start my first year again in 2005 after losing 2 years of my life. You know, it really requires one a bit to swallow a bit of your pride because, you know, you are good at the one moment, and one moment you got kicked out of university, then you have to start over from scratch. So we started, I think that's where probably I started my first year with Ntombi. We were in the same class. She used to be the top student in mathematics, and then we used to compete a bit, me and her. Yeah, so on that time, we finished our diploma. And then after my diploma, I felt that it was not good enough. After getting a diploma in chemical engineering, I did my bachelor degree in chemical engineering. When I finished, I felt that it was not good enough. Then I decided to do my master's in chemical engineering. When I finished, I felt that it was not good enough. Then I decided to embark on a doctorate in chemical engineering, where I completed it in 2018. And then when I completed my doctorate in 2018, I started realizing that I was passionate of teaching in the transition, the learners who are coming from matric to university, because I felt that I didn't want learners to go through the same situation as I am, that they will come to university and they get to drop out at university. So I decided to find myself in that gap, bridging the gap to teaching the courses which were difficult, like mathematics and physics at Cape Peninsula University of Technology in the chemical engineering department. I started teaching maths and physics to help learners to have a smooth transition, because I didn't want many of our children who are coming in at university to face the same fate as me. Then from then, as time was going on, I taught, I think, for almost, I think there's one person who's not muted there. Are you able to mute it? Yeah, sorry for that. I felt that at that time that I needed to stand in the gap teaching learners who are making the transition from high school to university. I spent my time teaching mathematics and physics for engineering at the chemical engineering department. And then while I was teaching there, obviously, I was also doing research and also in wastewater. I got promoted then to become a senior lecturer. 15 years later, from my move from UCT, 15 years later, I mean from the 2005 of exclusion at UCT and to where I was by that time, it was almost then 15 years. There was a post at University of Cape Town that needed someone to teach mathematics and physics for engineers. Then I took that opportunity out of the gap to apply for that position. And then lucky enough, I got the job to go teach at UCT. UCT is the same place where I was a dropout. So I took a position as a senior lecturer to go teach physics at University of Cape Town, and the same department that I was a dropout on, which was really nice to go back. So I spend my time now, I'll say it's my 4th year now at University of Cape Town. Then I last year got promoted to an associate professor at University of Cape Town. And then this is where my story comes to an end, which I will call it a full circle. So my end point of my story, I'll say, I'll end with a simple message to say success is not the absence of failure, but the courage to persevere in the face of all adversity. Because sometimes people look at you as a professor, they think everything was smooth sailing. But to be honest with you, there are ups and downs in life. There are failures that we have to accommodate in. There are ups and downs that we have to accommodate and balance through it all. But when at the end, you realize that to succeed in everything you do, you will have to be able to manage failure at some point in your life. And then you will have to draw on the courage within yourself to persevere in the midst of all challenges or adversity that comes in your way. And never allow where you are from, your starting point to determine your destiny. Never allow, you might be born from a rural area, townships, whatever. That is not your destination. That is not your definition. That is your starting point. But your starting point does not determine your end point. So you can change it. It's all in your hand to make the change that you want to see. So don't allow your current situation that you are facing today to be the determinant of what is going to be. In my Venda culture, there's a proverb which normally say, a crack in a boy's feet does not mean that crack it is his future. I don't know if Rodney put it correctly. It said the crack in a boy's feet, it doesn't determine that his future will always be like that. So that's what I will end with, that to say, wherever you are now does not need to be your destination. You can't decide where you're born. You can't decide the parents you're born with. You can't determine where you are. You can't decide that, but you can navigate your future going forward and decide the path that you want. And that path might not be clean, might also be part of failures, might come with challenges on its own, but you must understand that to succeed, you will have to jump all those hoops to be able to find the courage within you to persevere in the face of all adversity.
Thank
So
you.
you can rise to greatness. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Moses. What an inspiring story. I think we've all, as panelists, introduced ourselves, and we're about to get into the program now. And yeah, over to you on the National Qualification Framework of South Africa.
Thank you very much. Here, I just want to explain to you as the young people so that, there are many pathways that you can use, to grow when you finish your matric or even somewhere in the middle. I think it's around grade 10, how you make your decision on how the path will lead you to. If you look here, you might be at a school in grade 9. This is where one of the most pivotal moments in your life. I always say here, this is where you make a decision that can either destroy your life for future, or that can also lead you to the promised land, if you want to call it from that. Because this is where you choose whether you take the mathematical literacy, or this is where you choose you want to take the pure mathematics. So your life is only deciding on that moment. So there is obviously a normal path route that we expect many of our children to go through. If you see on this, is to remain after grade 9 is to remain in school. And then when you remain in school, you'll do your grade 10. And then from there, you'll do your grade 11. And then obviously you'll do your matric. Then from the matric, you'll go to university or University of Technology. And then from then, you can get either your degree or your diploma or your honors up to master's, up to PhD. This is the route that is normally known by many people. But however, there's a route, obviously, that at the moment you can go through college. I think after grade 10, you can start your grade. At the moment, we have this NATED curriculum, which is already at this somehow in discussion of being phased out. But in the moment you could go into a college and do 3 to 6 months, you do what we call NATED 1, which is normally known as N1, N2, N3, N4, N6. And then from then, if it's engineering route, you can end up being an artisan. On the N3, you can end up to be an apprenticeship side. But I know that this route has been in discussion of being phased out, but at the current moment it's still there, but it's being phased out to what is going to be happening now. You can go to do what we call the NCV, which is called the National Certificate Vocation, which on this year, this is your 1 year, national certificate, your 2nd year, national, your 3rd year from that point. And all this, if you look at from N4, N6, it also results you to have the same diploma that any person who might have studied at University of Technology could have if you move it up to that. From when you get this diploma, you are allowed from this diploma to link it at the University of Technology. You can then do your advanced diploma and you can do your honors, and then you can still link into the degree. That's what we call the clear articulation route that people can able to take to reach the same the same spot. The other route, obviously, is the program skill. I'm not sure if they've already implemented it, which is NQF level 2, NQF level 3, NQF level 4. But at the end, at NQF level 6, you are more or less on the same spot as a diploma, which once you get a diploma, you can articulate through University of Technology, doing advanced diploma, then you can able to link up to a PhD. So, which means that whether you go to a college, whether you go to NCV or University of Technology, you can all reach the end point of a PhD. It just now matters that it might be longer for one or the other. But at the end, you can able to reach up to that point, all of you guys, through this articulation route. So sometimes people feel, like, I went to a college, I can just stop there. It's a choice of stopping there. You can articulate from diploma, you have the diploma. If you go through the route of matric, you can still reach the same point. If you go through the route of the program skill, you can still reach the same point at this diploma. This diploma becomes your connector to all of you guys to reach at the end of this PhD. It's something that you might take longer, but at the end, every route can lead you to the same point that you want to be. So that will depend how you choose your path to reach that point. You can move to the next slide. So maybe for me to also talk about, I am one of the people who advocate what we call the STEAM. The STEAM is the science, technology, engineering, arts, and also mathematics. And one of these things is that I try to show you that if you choose this career that are in STEAM, you are more able to have a better chance of having a better life. Most of the kids, they focus on just getting matric, and they just want to pass matric. And at the end, when you pass the matric, you find yourself that you have less opportunities that you can have done if you've taken the route of mathematical literacy in some cases, and you don't have many opportunities. So I'm one of the advocates of saying, look at the careers that are around the STEAM, because to enhance student learning and educator teaching as a STEAM, we incorporate this in the curriculum. And if we are able to take this course, we are able to get more success and get more opportunities. I'm not sure if someone is muted. So my goal is for you to start focusing on the courses that are around STEAM. They will give you more opportunities. And there are also vital skills that are required to embrace the STEAM. Obviously, it requires you to develop critical thinking, problem solving. You need to be able to learn to communicate, to be able to collaborate, work with other individuals to solve the problems. And that is one of the things that it makes a lot. If you look now, we are in the era of AI. Everything is changing. You cannot do the AI with courses like mathematical literacy. You need a mathematics to be able to do such. Next. Yeah. So these are just the pathway, which is like a compass to say that one of the things that, on this pathway for growth and success, one of the things that is developed, you need to develop the skills of creativity, empathy, because you will work with other people, curiosity. You need to be sociable. You need to develop a skill of resilience. You could see some of us has to fail, but you need resilience to be able to, to go about and force yourself to, to navigate yourself up. One of the skills that might come out is social awareness that you need to do, and also be a person of integrity, because you might, if you're going to take a career in engineering, you might need to be a person of integrity in terms of decision making, so that everything that is done in order. So those are the kind of things that we require. Some of the skills that you need to have as that you need to develop when you're doing the engineering side. Can you move next slide? Next slide. Yeah. We also, in this side of this team, we also feel that there's disparities between boys and girls, especially in the African context, where we found that majority of the male are choosing the career path in STEAM, whereas the female numbers are still slow. But obviously the numbers are coming down. Take the back previous slide, Ayanda. Yeah. So we feel that some of the career paths are focused on there's a bit of stigma. There was a time when engineering was mainly for male, but we started finding females coming through. Actually, in the chemical engineering, we tend to find. So we find in some careers, STEAM girls are overlooked in the classroom. So we want to promote that, to make sure that more females have a desire in their career path in the STEAM. We want to see many females becoming engineers, leading in this engineering field, which were known to be male dominated, because maybe by stereotype by that time, but we want more female to be able to take those platforms in. And then, the value gender equality, we believe that when you have both male and female, you can able to get more skills. You can able to get more input from different side of it. And because we believe in an inclusive education that support both boys and girls on this case. So I want to see many of you females who might be in this section to say, we want to do career in STEAMs. We want to focus in science, technology. We want to be engineers. We want to be all those things. I will tell you that it's possible to make sure that you achieve those kind of things. I think probably that was the last slide. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Before we go into Rodney's study abroad opportunities, I'd like to open the floor, open the floor for questions. If anybody is interested in asking Professor Basitara a question or needs clarity on something, now is your chance. I see there's something on the chat.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I wanted to ask that, like, if you're doing Maths Lead, for instance, is it easy for you to get accepted in any university?
No, when you do mathematical literacy, you can get accepted, but obviously not on all career paths, especially not in STEAM. Most of the STEAM, they prefer people with mathematics. When you got the route of mathematical literacy, there are less opportunities compared. Not that there are no opportunities. I don't want to say there's no opportunity, because there are opportunities. But you need to choose first. I would say before you choose maths, ask yourself, why am I choosing mathematical literacy? What do I want? What is the end goal? Because most of the time, if the end goal is passing matric, do you get what I'm saying? So what you need to do is, what do you want to be? What do you love? What do you want to see yourself in the next 10 years to become? If you want to be someone maybe in the social science, you might find that could also be math lit won't impede you getting there. Do you get what I'm saying? But you can't say, I want to be in STEAM, or you don't know what you want to be. You choose the easy way out. Towards the end, when you finish matric, you said, oh, I want to be an engineer. It doesn't work like that. That's why I said grade 9 is very critical on the choice on the choice making. So it's not, I can't say it's easy or not easy. It depends on the field you're applying for. I don't know if I'm answering it, but there are more opportunities for those who study mathematics compared to those who study mathematical literacy. So it's neither or, they depend on the course you're applying for.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. I've got a question here that is coming from TikTok. It is asking, does one need a bachelor's in education to work as a lecturer in university?
At university, I think the most entrance, depending which, if University of Technology, the entrance could be a master's degree. You can be lucky, and if there is, I don't think now they are still doing it, where you can get a junior lecture position, but that's when you are lucky.
But then you must have a degree in the qualification you want to lecture. It doesn't.
Yes. You need.
So, for example, Moses is lecturing in chemical engineering. So, no, it's civil, ne?
In engineering.
Yeah, Moses is lecturing in engineering. So he has his undergrad as well as his postgraduate qualifications are both in chemical engineering. I have also part-time lectured when I was working, and I've got my qualifications in chemical engineering. So you have to have the qualification in which you want to teach. Okay. Any more questions, guys?
Okay, mute yourself if you're not asking a question. Do you guys have any more questions before we move on? Yes.
Hi guys.
Hi, Tutsi.
Yes. Yes. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes. I'm representing my daughter, man, but now she was going to attend the Zoom meeting, but now I'm trying to find out if she's on the Zoom meeting, because she went out for camp school. Then she told me that they don't have network there. So I just wanted to ask if there will be a recording for this Zoom meeting session.
Yes, there will be a recording, and we will post it on our YouTube channel. So we'll post all the details on the group.
Okay, no problem.
Available.
No, it's fine. You won't miss anything.
All right. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks.
All right. Any questions, guys, about issues relating to higher education, subject choices, career choices?
Tutsi.
Yes, you can go.
Ma'am, I'm in grade 9 and I don't know which subjects, which career I want to be in, but what subject should I take?
For me, I'll be biased. Ne? You want a biased answer, ne?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Just keep mathematics. If you're lost, you don't know what you want, keep mathematics and physics. The rest you'll find out later. That's the biased, simple answer that I will give you. If you don't know what you want,
pure maths.
Pure maths, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Mathematics and physical science. That's the route that I will say keep in there, because then now when you are lost towards the end, you can now figure out yourself. To be honest, all of us, we didn't know what we wanted also. We were as much lost as you think anyone else. But when you keep the math and physics, you can bounce back. When something does not work, you can go for something, you can bounce back. Whereas, you might be limited mostly in most of the social science if you do mathematical literacy, because you get excluded from the STEM career. But if you take the path of STEM, of mathematics and physics. You can find yourself in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics.
Yeah, I'll make an example of myself as well. I mean, I kept maths and physical science. For me, those were the most important things to keep. Yes, I did geography and, but from there, like I mentioned in the beginning, I could be able to go into engineering. I was also able to change engineering and go within the arts. And now I'm working within the business sector, and I've been able to study qualifications in supply chain as well as business, So if you already start from an early age and you exclude pure maths, you kind of limiting yourself in the end. Yeah.
Okay, Moses, before we go to Divine and Tato, I've got another question here on TikTok. It says, I only completed NQF 5 and I want to complete my degree. Can you please advise?
If you go back to that and back to that tree, where it shows the line, back to that, it shows where, yeah, we are NQF what?
5.
5. So it's really clear that obviously, if you want to qualify, you need to complete it and move to NQF Lama 6. Then you have a diploma. You will be equivalent to a diploma. Then when you have a diploma, then if you want to move, you can. If your results are good, you can apply to, depending on the requirement of that University of Technology, you can move to do an advanced diploma or anything going further, however you want. But you need to complete it so you get a diploma, because at NQF level, you are more like in a higher certificate, as you can see. So, but if you want to get a diploma, which is much better, you need to move to NQF NQF 6.
Thanks.
Okay, there's another question there on the chat.
No, let's first give Divine and then Tato.
Divine?
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
I'm fine. I'm representing my baby brother. So we recommended maths and physics for him, and he did take it, but now he's struggling in physics. So what does that help if you take something but you're struggling in it? Shouldn't he change, or what should he do?
Moses, can I first take that one?
Okay, can I take that one? This is where I normally say.
I just wanted to ask a question before you answered. Divine, have you also explored opportunities for tutoring where your brother can get extra assistance?
Yes, we have a tutor for him, and also he does extra classes at school. And right now it's their school. They were in school holidays and he was still studying, but I don't know what the results will be in the next term.
Okay.
That's my worry.
Okay, Moses, it's yours.
Yeah, okay. Here's my simple response. For me, if I was a parent, let me give you a story if I'm a parent. As much as I know these courses, mathematics and physics are not easy. They require more work to be done, and in most of the cases, it's not the only capability of the learners to have. It's also the school. Sometimes those who are teaching it, they don't even know how to teach it. So that obviously will, move into the kids themselves. Then you can't, if someone who's teaching you does not understand it in the detail, then you might not able to make it. That's why maybe it will be suggestion of support system. But however, personally for me, I would rather have my child, even if they are passing mathematics, they are just passing it. At least this route, you see this blue line here at matric level. Do you see this blue line?
Yes.
Where I'm pointing, that's matric. Let's say you barely pass the course. Let's say you get around level 3. I'm just making example. Level 3 is anything around 30 to 49. I'm not sure about where your brother is. The opportunities in this point of decision is that you are able to step back to NCV. Do you see that? Where the blue line is going?
You mean this way?
The blue line, yes. You see that blue line going up. You can go there.
Yes, I see it.
Or if you do well, you can go to university. Do you see the blue line also? And also, you can still go to NQF. Do you get it? Do you see the opportunities? These 3 streams are basing themselves on how much performance you might have got on your matric results. So opportunities are still there. You can still go back to NCV, the college. And that college can still take you back to diploma, back to someone who might have gone to university and be equivalent to that person. Do you see that? Because if you look at here, the university person will go up to diploma. You will still be in the diploma with that person, even if you go the NCV route, even if your marks were lower. You can still go to diploma route. Same as this person with university, same as this person with NQF level 6. Do you get it? So you can still be in the same point. That's why the beauty of when I said if I was a parent, I will support my child to be as much either to qualify to university or to college or to University of Technology. That's what I will do as a parent. Unless my child, listen to me, knows that he has an interest on something that mathematical literacy will apply, like social science, whatever. If they have interest or law or something else, they want to be a lawyer, they know what they want at that moment. Remember, I'm talking about those who know and those who don't know. I wouldn't take a risk of taking a career path on mathematical literacy if I'm not sure of what I want to be. But the career path of mathematics itself, even if you get low, you can still have more opportunities to take through college, through whatever it is. So the main goal is not passing matric. The main goal is to find a career that you will end up in for the rest of your life. And that's why this grade 9 is important. Your decision making is just said that you make that decision when you know nothing at that moment. I didn't know. All I know is I'm sticking to maths and science. I'll choose. My parents wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a medical doctor. I ended up being a chemical engineer. You see what I'm saying? I didn't know. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know,
Yes, thank you.
And you know, Prof, what I've also realized is that a lot of people are going around on TikTok giving wrong information, which is why we were like, there is a need for us to have this type of workshop where it's now about, oh, your APS score, is it enough or not? But at the end of the day, like you said, it's not necessarily about only passing your matric, because you need to select subjects that will lead you to the end goal, which is your career path. And on top of that, even if you may fail matric, there is always the opportunity of upgrading. I want people to not get into this habit of saying, I will pick any qualification that I make marks for so that I will change when I get in front. Because let's say you want to go into engineering and you only qualify to go into an education qualification. If you do not have the mathematics that they were looking for, no matter how many years you may finish, there's no way you can change from education to the engineering faculty. Do you understand? Yeah. But people are not out of those things.
Yeah, and also, Ntombi, I feel like this obsession of fear of failure.
Yes.
Look at us, and Ntombi talked about being excluded at UCT. We were probably the straight A's when we passed matric. You get what I'm saying? Straight A's. We still managed to fail with our straight A's. So we can't run away from failure in life. Failure is what we need to manage and navigate around it. Because even with a straight A, there's no guarantee that at university you will succeed. So people are obsessed in passing the matric. I would say if you don't know what you want, broaden your opportunity. That's what I'm saying. When I say keep maths and science, I'm saying broaden up opportunities for yourself. But once you take a route of mathematical literacy, which I have nothing wrong with it, but you need to know exactly that which career path are related to that mathematical literacy when you make that choice. Because people are choosing it, but without knowing if you have math lit, what kind of career you need to take. I used to sit with rejecting application of student with mathematical applying to chemical engineering. Because you realize the advice at grade 9 was not right.
Prof, can I ask a question? What is better?
Yes.
50% of normal maths and 70% of maths lit?
Personally, for me, I would answer as a bias, and I'll be declared as a bias. I'd rather take my 40% of pure maths and I go to college, knowing that I can still come back to the same level as someone from university.
Exactly.
Because if I get my diploma, we are on par with someone who was the straight A.
Exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying? Or an NQF level. I have this one called broadening opportunity. Unless you know exactly where you want to be, where Mathlit is going to take you, and you know where you want to, don't take it. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, can we go
First, do a research.
Pato's question?
What was Sato's question again?
No, he's got Tato must ask a question.
Okay.
I wanted to ask if you know which career path you want to take, but then not so sure on which career you want to take. Like, I want the engineering path and computer path as well, but then I'm not sure if I should take computer science, software engineering, or cybersecurity. What can I do?
Yeah, that's more of a career guidance part that you need to do. For me, I would say what grade are you in?
I'm currently in grade 9.
You're in grade 9. So for me, I would just say, I don't know if you're depending on the school you are in, whether you choose, you don't have to choose, as long as you stick to maths and science, all those things will be applicable to each. It's that towards some case of when you are around grade 11, grade 12, I would say, you know what, start attending more of career guidance to really find exactly what you want. But if you're staying on that lane of mathematics, you are still sorted. You can still achieve it. Because there's no limitation that your choice, as long as you choose the path of math and physics, you can still do them depending on your marks. So you can do any of those things depending on maybe if you the option. Normally when you do career, we always say have a option number 1, option number 2, option number 3, and your marks will determine. If your marks are higher, you can go to your option number 1. If your marks are a little bit lower, you can go option number 2 or option number 3. You see what I'm saying? That's why we are opening opportunities. So we are saying don't close yourself only one opportunity. Because you see what is interesting about doing mathematics is all the social science courses. Am I right? That mathematics literacy opens up to. The mathematics route opens it up to it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because if you do the math, whatever that the mathematical literacy route takes, you can still end up in social science with your mathematics. I don't know if I've responded properly because I'm hearing some noise.
Thank you very much.
The part of mathematics, it also opens you those routes of social science. That's what the nicest thing. We are saying broaden up opportunities. Don't limit yourself in the when you are still in that decision stage of saying, you don't know much what you want. I don't even know what I would know in grade 9. Whether I was going to end up as a professor by that time, I wouldn't even have seen that. I have no clue about it by that time. So don't cut yourself opportunities, because everything you take the measure, you can still have in social science.
There is a question on the chat. It says, what is mature age acceptance in university?
There's nothing called a maturity. It's now, when I was in matric, I was university, I was 17 years old because my birthday was March in 2010. So I turned 18 when I was at university. So I was still, I was still lost. I mean, we were lost into me. That's why we were failing. And so, I would personally, this is really difficult. You can't really make a prescription. People are different, and maturity is not something that it's also a function of your environment, how you grow up. That's why you can have a female who have the same age with you, female mature more than you are. So I can't just make an age rule thumb and say, because a boy at 17 and a girl at 17, a female might be more mature than a boy at 17. So I can't really say what is the mature age. It's very difficult. It's a function of your context, your environment. There's a lot of factors that gives you maturity. If I grow up in an environment where everything is there, I'm cushioned with everything, and I grow up in an environment where I have to fend for myself, you are more independent, making decisions by yourself at a young age. So the growth that you have you've grown on that moment is different from me if my parents was making decision for me all the time. I will start making my own decision when I come to university, whereas you have been making all the decision of your life when you're a young age. So your maturity level has decreased because of the environment that you come from. So it's very complex. You get what I'm saying? So I wouldn't use a thing, but it's 17 is still, I'll say it's 18 is the beginning, because some of you will turn 18 at university.
Okay. Toko, there's a question. Your hand is up.
Toko Mohane, you can ask your question.
There's so much noise here, but then I'll try and ask. What are the requirements to become a radiographer?
Yeah, for me, I wouldn't know, but it's a science part. It follows under STEAM. So I'll just say the requirements, you keep them as root. I can't know the exact, it will depend on university.
Yes.
If you're a University of Technology requirement, but it's a radiography falls under the science. You can't do mathematical literacy if you want to do if you want to be a radiographer. So you must stick to the science and maths. That's all I would say.
Also,
because it will depend whether you're going to traditional university or you're going UOT.
Yeah. Also, like on your point of depending on where you're going, look at the institution that you want to go to, and then go under the courses, they will show you exactly what the requirements are to enter into that university for whatever course you want.
So that answer was also geared towards Zoda's question, which was, what are the requirements for pathology and are there many job opportunities for it? So it's the same thing when you want to find out about the requirements of anything you want to study. You go to the university websites, look at their prospectus. They will tell you what the requirements are and how to calculate your APS scores if it is needed. In terms of, are there job opportunities for it?
Pathology is within the medical field. So there's definitely job opportunities. But what I want to urge you guys is, whatever it is that you want to do, like, you need to be proactive about your future. Do you know that in our times when we were still looking for opportunities to study, or when we were in high school, there was no internet. Was the internet, Moshe?
No.
So if you wanted to study at UCT, you had to write a letter to UCT to request a prospectus. You tell them, can I get a prospectus? I want to study this. They send you a book that you go through and you read through it. You read through the requirements. You read through whether you qualify. You understand? Things are so much easier for you guys these days. You know, for you guys to be asking us, what are the requirements of radiography when you've got internet on your fingertips? Come on, guys. Let's push for our futures. Information is so much out there. It's not like back in the day. And then you remember, Moses, you would apply, then you write a letter applying for whatever course you want. If you want to change it, you write another letter again, post it at the post office, and then they change your option. You understand?
Yeah.
You guys are applying online. The internet is there. The prospectuses are online. Everything is online. The purpose of these sessions is to get you guys to a level where you really become so driven about your futures. You become so hyper independent about your futures. And I think we're going to continue with these sessions for a couple of weeks. Coach you, mentor you. But at the end of this, we want to have a youth that is hungry for opportunities, that is pushing for their futures, right? So as time goes on, a question like, what are the requirements of this course? What are the requirements of this course? We're going, Sizoni Pokagabi. With love. Yes.
There's another question here. It says, would you advise learners to take a gap year for whatever reason?
Personally, for me, I have two options for that. You know, gap year is very important if you come from a privileged environment where you're not rushing, you want to get to know. When I say privilege, when there's funding at home, whatever, there's money, there's whatever. For us, when you come from a poor background, you want to finish the degree as quick as possible. I wouldn't advise someone to just say, go sit down at home and be doing what? Unless you've got an employment, you're shadowing someone on the career path that you want, you have to have a specific goal. What is the point of a gap year?
Mm.
You get what I'm saying? If you are privileged, your family is privileged, if they can connect you to, maybe you said, oh, I want to become a scientist. You can go shadow someone else and learn what they care about, go to Europe and do something, learn about it. That's what I'm saying, a bit of privilege.
Mm.
But most of us grow up from poverty. So what we got the degree, we want to get this to get a job, to make sure we are employable, to make sure that we help from home, whatever we have. So it depends. It's a good opportunity to have a gap year, to ponder and think about what you want, so you can make mature, knowing exactly what you want. So I can advise it if you're privileged.
Okay, now let me come from the angle of how school systems are in Europe, right? So their high school, it consists of 3 years junior cycle, and then they have a transition year. Now that's what they call a gap year, right? Before they go into the senior cycle. All schools have it, but my daughter's school, she can choose not to do it, so she's not going to do it. But in that transition year, you still have to learn soft skills. Yes, you don't come to school every day for subjects, but you also take part in the school production play. You can be placed somewhere to get employment and get some skills. So that gap year, as Moses has said, it should be a gap year for a reason. It's not for you to just sit down. You have to be, it's either you're upskilling yourself, doing something, or there's a job, or there's someone you are following who is giving you career guidance. You can't just sit, because the one thing I can tell you, even when I did, after doing my in-service training from my national diploma to then go into BTech, that gap, it as if the first 6 months was like trying to get back into that study mode. It was difficult. It wasn't easy.
And also to stretch that point as well, we also don't advise that you just study anything just to be studying. You understand?
Or to be at university.
Just to be at university, just to be, you want to leave your village to be studying something because you weren't accepted maybe for your first choice. It's also not advisable to just take any other course that has nothing to do with what you really want to study, or doesn't even put you in line for what you want to study, just to be at school. So again, like Moses says, look at your reasons. What are you taking your gap year for? Are you taking it because you are unsure of what you want to do? Are you taking it because you have a certain opportunity that you've been given to shadow a person? But don't just sit and do nothing. You understand? That one is also not an option. Okay. Can we take the question from Divine?
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize my hand was still up.
Okay. Any more questions?
Oh, there's someone who's got a statement here. Uzodwa is saying, I was here for my younger brother who is doing matric, but now I am inspired to go back and study even though I'm over 30.
Exactly.
That is the whole point. We are here to inspire through our lived journeys, to show that, guys, it's never too late. If I can tell you, Zodwa, my mom went back to matric at the age of 40. She did her matric. She's now sitting with 4 honors degrees, 2 masters. One of them is an MBA, and she's also got a PhD. So it's never too late.
Yes. Inspiring. Okay.
I don't know if, guys, you want to take, if you don't have any more questions, if you want to take like a 10-minute break before we have Abuti Rodney tell us about the study abroad opportunities. Do you want to take a 5-minute break?
Let's make it 5 minutes.
Is that okay? Anybody?
Is that okay,
Yes.
guys? 5-minute break.
5, it's okay.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I think we've got 1 minute left, but we also just trying to manage the fact that we are live on TikTok as well for the benefit of people who are not within our community. We're also trying to manage that and answer the questions there. Prof. Moses, there is a question about what is the difference between government certificate of competence and a degree regarding engineering?
The government certificate of what?
Competence.
Competence.
I've never heard about that. Is it the highest certificate or what?
No, it's the person's just saying the government certificate of competence. For me also, it's the first time I'm hearing about that.
I've never heard about that.
Certificate.
And it also depends, where is this person? What country they are in.
Where do you get it?
Yeah, because what country are you in, Kikimba? Because maybe that government certificate of competence is not relevant here in South Africa where we are. So we're not really clued up on that. Okay, so people from TikTok are saying thank you.
GCC.
Yeah, GCC, yes.
I think GCC should falls under somewhere. I think GCC isn't what they're introducing now.
Okay.
Isn't what they're introducing now. They've been talking about GCC now. And when you exit around, you get a certificate.
Oh.
At, I think you exited grade 9. You can exit and get a certificate. It has not been introduced. It's what they've been talking about to introduce it, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's not a requirement. I think somewhere you exited instead of going to remain at school here at grade 9 and or go to college, you can have a GCC. You'll get a GCC certificate to say that. Yeah, it's not a qualification of a degree or anything. It's just to. Yeah, it's like exiting at grade 9. If you don't wanna go to college, they will give you a certificate. Now you can just go to college without any certificate. So if you don't complete in a college or designated or NCV, if you don't complete, then obviously you don't have anything at the moment to stand. But on the current news dispensation, when you exited grade 9, they will give you a GCC certificate, which now you will have it if you wanna. Maybe they'll start making some jobs that doesn't require matric to say no. You must have a GCC certificate to be able to do those jobs.
Okay, yeah. Someone says that it's applicable to electrical and mechanical engineers. So it's another route for engineers. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. Is there any question that you guys have thought about during the break that you wanna ask Prof. Basitera before we move on? Okay, no questions so far. All right, so Budrodi, I'm not sure if you are online. Study abroad opportunities.
Yes, I am online. I hope everybody's still good. Thanks, Prof. Basitera, for the presentation.
That was quite a heated discussion with Prof. Basitera.
Yeah, no, that was great. No, just great discussions. So I'm gonna be just briefly talking about study abroad opportunities. But before I go to that, I just have a quick question to everyone except the panelists, to you guys to say, do you know how many universities are in South Africa? If you have a response, an answer, you can just quickly raise your hand and not go to Google. Tutsi?
So isn't it 26?
26, brilliant. Yeah, that's 26 universities. And what's the population, or like on average, if you guys know how many learners write their matric, and yeah, let's say how many learners normally will write their matric in a year? I'm looking for answers. No, just estimation. Estimation. I'm not looking for a definite answer. All right. Okay. So normally 600,000. Yeah. You will be playing around 500,000 depending on the year. So like that by this question, I'm just trying to show you that there's a lot of matriculants who write their examination. Portia, may you please mute your mic? Thank you. So there's quite a number of students who write their matric, and meaning that looking for spaces for first years in 26 universities for the whole country, it's gonna be a challenge and continues to be a challenge. Although some will, of course, will move to colleges, as Prof. Basteri has explained, all those NQF processes. But when you look at 26 universities for such a number, and then you look at universities in other countries, for example, in the UK, there's about 400 universities and colleges, which means that there's a bigger number of intake that goes on each year. And then you go to countries such as the United States of America, where you'll be having close to like 4,000 universities and colleges. By this, it just shows us that back at home in South Africa, it's still of it. That's why each year there's going to be challenges about admissions, late applications, and so many rejections that takes place. So we are talking about study abroad opportunities. But before we dive deeper into that, I wanted just to give an overview just briefly in explaining that normally we'll hear that there are bursaries, there are scholarships. These are words that are normally used interchangeably, but all of them is talking about funding, which is the most critical thing. We know that in South Africa there is NSFAS, for free education. Anybody can, those who qualify in terms of those thresholds are able to apply and go to university or colleges and study there without even paying a cent. So when we talk about scholarships, normally, these are just competitive, funding models that are just given by whether different organizations for people to go and study, whether it is abroad or even in their countries. And then so bursaries usually, they may be non-competitive. Sometimes it's automatic. You passed very well in your matric, you got straight A's, and the next thing they say, no, you've got a merit bursary, that is allocated to you. And sometimes it depends on the financial need. I think Prof. Basteri, Tombi and Ayanda, you'll remember, back in the days when, our teachers will be telling us, you need to pass with A's, you need to pass very well, and then universities and bursaries, they'll be coming to fight for you. And then that's when you realize that, oh no, that's not actually the reality. You need to do something to be able to get to that point. So the main question, I remember I posted a video on TikTok about a particular scholarship, and I remember somebody asking the question, what is the catch? As if it was something that has to do with scams and so on. But the reason why there are so many scholarships to study abroad, it's simply because the world is trying to resolve problems that the world is facing because of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. So when we are done with this session today, if you go online on Google and search SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, you'll get to see about 17 goals that are there, which basically talks about issues to do with that. We don't want poverty in the world. We don't want people to go to bed hungry. We want quality educations. We want gender equality. We want climate action and so many things that are happening. So scholarships are given to be able to address those issues so that in the world we have a better and a more sustainable life for everybody. So the shape that funding takes is that there are fully funded scholarships. So as I've explained in my introduction, so I was awarded a scholarship to go and study in the Republic of Ireland, a master's program in gender globalization and rights at the University of Galway, when Tombi is currently doing a PhD. So that's where I studied. And then I was granted a fully funded scholarship, meaning when we talk about a fully funded scholarship, it means that it is, in simple terms, all expenses paid. They are paying for your flights from South Africa or whichever country. They're paying for your accommodation, pay for food. I mean, you give you a monthly stipend and flights and everything. And then there are also a second category, which is called partially funded scholarships. So you might find that maybe a Tutsi, for example, Tutsi is from Matric, has passed the Matric with good results, and then applied for a partially funded scholarship, which means that it is 50% or maybe 70%. It might mean that Tutsi may be expected, maybe to pay a certain amount from his or pocket, and then they will be able to cover the other one. And obviously, like, there are those who just self-fund, will just be paying everything from their own pocket, because maybe in terms financially wise, their families are doing well. So it is those are the differences that are there. But of course, we know that in terms of the socio-economic challenges, it's always good to have that fully funded scholarship to study abroad. So and the beauty about acquiring this scholarship, because I know that some people have asked that, oh no, so does it mean that if I'm in Matric, I can apply for a scholarship to study abroad? The answer is yes. Actually, now, as I'm speaking to you, there is a scholarship by the government of Japan that is offering fully funded scholarships to study bachelor's degrees in Japan. Those ones who are in Matric can actually apply for that scholarship even when they are still waiting for the results. And then their intake will be next year in September. Even those who have passed Matric can apply for the scholarships to study in Japan, which is are fully funded. They are covering everything. And then, so the catch, when others are like, what is the catch? So the catch is that, countries have got, bilateral relations. And as I've said, that in addressing the challenges the world is facing, so these funds are given to deserving students and hardworking students to be able to, pursue their academic interest, in Europe or maybe in America or in Asia or any part of the world. To be able to do so. And these opportunities, interestingly enough, it also gives one an opportunity, to travel, which is quite interesting. So while I was studying in Ireland, I got to travel to Paris in France, just see the place. I got to travel to the UK even that time. I also got to travel to Belgium, also travel to Amsterdam in the Netherlands, because everything is just, within reach, and it's even easier to travel as compared to one having to travel from South Africa to these countries. And then in terms of age limits, so usually they will be saying that somebody should not be under the age of 18, so you should be an adult at least to be able to be considered for these funding opportunities. But these funding opportunities are very competitive, because it is not only you who's applying for this, it's other hundreds and thousands of people out there. But it is all about what makes you different, what is it that you are bringing to this program. So mostly it will just depend what that scholarship is trying to achieve, whether they are trying to fund for maybe the STEM subjects or even, the social sciences, everything cutting across. But as I've said, they are always highly competitive because so many people apply. Let me just give you an example. It means that if there is somebody who has got straight A's, for example, and then somebody who has got, maybe average results, of course, they are likely to consider the one with straight A's because of academic excellence. Although at times they also focus on issues of, like people's backgrounds, and also their lived experience, and in terms of what their plan is and what they are planning to do when they have completed that program. And most scholarships, not all, most scholarships will even expect that once, for example, let's say now you're in matric, and then you're applying for the Japan scholarship to study in Japan for a bachelor's degree. It will mean that they will probably maybe expect that when you complete that program, you should return home, so that you give that skill back to your home country, because that's mainly the whole idea for in-country skill development. So it means that after that 3 years, maybe in Japan, or 4 years in Japan, and then you'll have to go back home. But there are also scholarship opportunities where that one they don't even have to expect you to do that. But it just depends in terms of what is it that they're standing for. So studying abroad, it's really good because it also exposes you to a whole different world. I know that most people, you find that like they wish that one day would like to be on an aeroplane and then travel somewhere out of the country. So those opportunities are possible to do. It all starts with somebody having that desire, as Ayanda has mentioned, that it's all about being so intentional about your future and what is it that you want to achieve. And I know that sometimes people are like, oh no, I'm from matric, and then I'm gonna be going outside the country. It sounds scary and all that, but this is just to make you aware that because some people, if you have passed so well, it's so sad. I mean, if you have passed so well, straight A's, and you find that you could not even get admission to a university that you wanted because the competition is so high and the intake is also minimal. But this is just to give you the heads up that there are those opportunities even out there, that you don't have to limit yourself to South Africa or whatever country you're in, but that the world has a space for you to succeed. It's all possible, it's all doable. I am a good example of that I really wanted to go and study abroad. I had told myself that what, in my life I would want that degree from abroad, and I managed to achieve that. And when Prof. Bastiro was talking about that, about the maths and the science and stuff, so I also studied mathematics and science from matric, and of course now I'm in social sciences. I'm a social worker by profession. So it's all those things that you have got more advantage to fall back to. But most importantly, as it was also stated, that it's just knowing what you want ultimately, to be able to know your strength and your weaknesses, because we know that normally there will be issues of peer pressure, of saying that no, let us go and do the science and mathematics, whereas very well that those things are just quite difficult. So in terms of as I've said, so scholarships are actually advertised sort of like each and every day. Like there are opportunities that are being advertised out there, and it's just an issue of positioning yourself in right places, and being around the right people to be able to offer that guidance in terms of how to go on with these things. It just needs you to have time to do your research, and in terms of data, not using data for us to search some things that are not of importance online, but also being intentional about your future and what you would want to achieve. So let it be known to you now that it does not mean that when you pass grade 12 you have to scramble and trying to look for opportunities only in South Africa, but that even abroad you can do your bachelor's degree. Some institutions you can even do your diplomas abroad. I know that there is one scholarship, the Mauritius government scholarship, where you can even go and do a diploma in Mauritius, which is fully funded. You can do that with your matric results. And quite a number of countries. I know there's Russia, there's Asia. They just offer those bachelor's programs wherein you are fully funded. You don't have to pay a cent. Everything will be catered for. But as I've said, remember, there are some of the scholarship that may say we will be able to cover this and this, and then you may be able to cover this part. But we know that because we come from different families, there are those parents who will say, oh, so if you've got this scholarship that's going to pay for your fees, that's going to pay for your flights, and then they won't cover accommodation, we can cover accommodation. So that's where the issues of fully funded scholarships and partially funded scholarships come into play. But again, even if one does not have scholarship, there are families that are, financially they are good. You may be coming from that family. Your parents can still pay for your fees abroad, but they are expensive, quite very expensive. But it depends in terms of those financial muscles that people are able to do so. And then the other thing that I can say, let me see. So the last part will be that we all have different capabilities, and so when you look at those sustainable development goals that I've mentioned, that just tells you that all career paths are important. I'll just give you an example. What would a hospital look like if it only had doctors and nurses without cleaners? Just an example. Without receptionists, and all this, but it also goes in terms of your abilities. But know that each and every career path that one can take, it has a value to add to the world in terms of those sustainable development goals. So in terms of scholarships, they will want to know what difference do you intend to make, and when you return to your own country, what are the positive changes that you would love to see. So it's competitive, but it's possible. All right, so I will just pause here so that I don't make too much of me talking, but so that we are able to engage and take questions if there are any. Thanks, Ayanda.
Thank you so much, Rodney. I don't know I think we'll just cover the next slide and then we'll take questions at the end. For those of you who don't know us and who are really just coming to us from the pamphlets that you've seen people sharing and from word of mouth, I just wanted to explain a little bit more about Uplifted Abroad. As Dombi has mentioned, Uplifted Abroad is a company that I, together with her, have founded because we noticed that there was a gap with information when it comes to our communities. So our primary objective is really just to assist our fellow Africans with their personal development goals. And it's really not just about high school kids. We actually, the majority of people that we have interacted with has been people who have even been working, and have gone back to say, I want to go back to school and study what I really want to do. I want to pursue my master's. I want to go back, change direction, pursue my undergrad again. So we started this initiative last year. Once Domfuti had left South Africa, gone to Ireland, we used that information, how she went about finding a scholarship, a fully funded scholarship to study her PhD in Ireland. She actually quit her full-time job at the university. She was a lab technician. She actually quit to go and pursue a PhD, not a master's, to pursue her PhD abroad. She got a fully funded scholarship where the money that she got for the scholarship, the stipend, was actually more than her take home or her salary that she was getting. And she went and she studied her PhD. So knowing that information, we were like, let's actually not gatekeep. we also want to expose others to this information so that they can get these opportunities as well. So we started this initiative, and we started by doing weekly Zoom sessions where we would have people join our Zoom sessions and would actually teach them how to go about it step by step. It is not free. It does come at a small investment of 200 Rand, but for that you get a chance to be a part of our community as well, which is a WhatsApp group that we've developed for people who've been through the info session. The info session is no longer run on Zoom. It is digital, because what we noticed is that with load shedding schedules, people would miss the Zoom session and, you know, all of that. But we developed it into a digital course so that you can have the time to go through it at your own leisure. So firstly, within this digital info session, it shows you how to go about finding institutions to study abroad, how to find scholarships, and once you've found that right opportunity for you, how to prepare for a life abroad. And within this WhatsApp group, we have over 220 members who are actively going through the process of finding their opportunities. And it's actually become such a nice community where everyone consistently shares their successes, their wins, their failures as well, some opportunities that arise. I mean, even just a few weeks ago, there was one of our participants who had shared like a job that they were looking for some HR people in her company. And immediately, one of the members actually shared that information with her brother, and her brother was able to be employed within 2 days after sitting at home for 2 years. So being part of a community where everyone is invested in each other's personal development goals, that's what it's about. So today we'd like to extend this invitation to those who are not in our group, especially even the young ones. I mean, we find that like we've mentioned, you guys also need a bit more guidance in terms of what to do, you know, like how to go about finding these opportunities for undergrad abroad. As Rodney has also mentioned, that it's very tight when it comes to getting acceptance in institutions in South Africa. The numbers are really up against you guys. So it would be wise to start exploring what opportunities there are to study abroad. So if you'd like to join or get access to our digital info session as well as our WhatsApp group, it's either you can click on this link, which is www.upliftedabroad.co.za/info to join the community, or you can scan this QR code. It will take you to a link which will take you to the payment page. As I've mentioned, it is only 200 Rand, but then it is for now. Domfuti says I must mention that we've kept this price for quite some time now, and from the 1st of May, it will be going up to 299. So if you'd like to form part of our community, you are welcome to join us. Someone asked a question about, does Uplifted Abroad provide psychological support and advice? The answer to that is we don't provide psychological support because we are not trained professionals when it comes to psychology. We're not trained psychologists. But what we do have is coaching that we do. There's coaching sessions that we do, individual coaching sessions that you can be a part of. They also come at a fee. So once you get access to the digital info session and the WhatsApp group, you can also approach me about that if you want specific guidance for your child in terms of what your passions, your skills are, and how to kind of navigate that in terms of selecting a career. I'm also not like a trained career psychologist, but there are ways in which I can help you navigate through those choices. But as we've said, these sessions we will continue with. We'll continue with these sessions where we expose you to different people in different career fields. But in terms of Uplifted Abroad, we do have our study abroad info session as well as paid coaching that we do. Okay. Any questions?
It seems like there are no questions.
There's a question here, Rodney.
There's Divine. Yeah.
Before you get to Divine, there's a question on TikTok from NCM3. He says, are there degrees for project management scholarships?
Are there scholarships for project management degrees?
Yeah, let's read this question.
Yeah. So basically, scholarships usually they will say we are offering scholarship to maybe these particular fields of studies, maybe like in terms of like maybe engineering and then your management and all that. So for you, then you will be able to decide which program do you specifically want to do within that field. So maybe a simple answer will be yes. It just depends in terms of what is it that they are looking for, what is it that they are funding. So, but for the scholarship that I've seen over the years, it usually just different field of studies, and sometimes they would even say, anybody can apply, irrespective of which field of study you are in.
Okay, Divine.
This is a question for, I think, Rodney, the guy who is doing the presentation now on on getting scholarships and stuff like that.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask, with him, how did he get to the point where he got a scholarship in the gender roles or whatever he studied? Was it an opportunity that was offered, or did he intentionally want to study in that field and then he got the opportunity? Because I'm studying community development, I'm doing my second year, and I'm looking towards studying abroad when I finish to do my honors there, but I don't know which field to get into.
Okay. So with the scholarship that I've used the Kada Asmal fellowship program. Yeah, you can also check it online. So usually it opens every year around June, July, for the following academic year. So they've got over 200 programs within that they're actually funding in that scholarship. So you just go and choose the one that you want to do, obviously on the basis of your background, and in terms of like the degree that you currently. So for you, that honors that when you are done with it, so it means you'll be able to navigate through that social sciences field. But interesting enough, programs abroad, they are interdisciplinary. It's unlike for us, maybe like it's gonna be okay, a Master of Arts in Community Development, and that's it. So yet maybe a Master of Arts in Community Development, International Relations, and Gender what. So like it's fine that like it's just a wide range, and because I think compared to us, I think they're a bit a bit ahead in terms of addressing the sustainable development goals of the United Nations. So it varies. You'll just find programs, some scholarships, but there are scholarships that will just say we are funding for people who have got, if you've got a degree in social sciences or the humanities, then you are gonna choose a course that you want to do on that basis. So it varies in terms of the type of scholarship that you are applying to. I hope I answered you, Divine.
Yes, thank you so much.
Rodney, there's a question here on TikTok. How do you know that the scholarship is not a scam?
That's an interesting question. I mean, to start with, like in terms of websites that people use, a website has to be secured. So normally when you go to the website, it's gonna be like more HTTP. Yes, yeah, there must be an S for secure there. So some of the things, if they're just phishing, it means that even their website won't even be secured. But again, let's say for example, here I am on TikTok, and somebody says the government of Japan is offering scholarships. The first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to the website of the Ministry of whatever Japan thing. Those legit websites. I mean, so of course it has to be secured, and also you just need to ensure that you are able to go directly to that. And sometimes universities even advertise scholarships from their websites. And I think for South Africans, normally if you can go to the website of the Department of Higher Education and Training, they will be having scholarships in there. So those are some of the things that you can just take, unlike just seeing things. Just make sure that their sites are secured, and also that you can even follow it up. If they are saying that the government of the United States, it means that from the embassy of the US, that something should be there. And of course, in terms of credible organizations that are out there.
You see, I was making an example here. You see, our link also has an S. HTTPS. Uplifted abroad.
Yeah, and again for that question that was asked to you, like sometimes people will, if somebody says there is a scholarship and for you to apply you need to pay a fee, that is a scam. Scholarships applications are free. You don't pay any fee to apply for a scholarship. Once you hear anything about money to apply for a scholarship, that's a red flag. It's a scam. Yeah.
Okay, Tutsi. Oh, sorry, I cut you. You can.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Tutsi.
Hello. So Ronnie, I just wanted to ask that you please send the information on the scholarships for Japan on the Gateway to Success group, please. Will you please do that for me? Very interested in that you're talking about. Really caught my attention.
Okay, great.
And also, sir, if you know of scholarships for a degree in mechanical engineering for someone who already has a diploma in mechanical engineering, then may you also help me with that. I also want to help someone in that way. There's no problem, sir.
Okay, yeah. So I think like if people can check my, I think my, what's that called, Diana? My TikTok thing, my TikTok account, yeah, because that's where usually sometimes I just share scholarships on my TikTok account. If you just search my name, I should appear somewhere there.
Yeah. Thank you for the help, sir. I will do just that.
Okay, pleasure.
Togo Mohane.
Okay. I'm doing grade 11 currently, and now we are in term 2. So I wanted to ask that, do we use our term 4 report or term 2 report to apply to universities? Because some people tell us that you use term 2, some tell us you use term 4, and when you research, it doesn't give you the exact
information.
I don't know how to put.
I think I understand your question. So of course, like, I mean, it's interesting because maybe Bontombi will also assist with this, because my thinking is that there are some programs that close in June, some around July. So my understanding is that at that time, the only report that you'll be having will be your term 2, because what universities, because even when they admit you, they're gonna admit you provisionally while waiting for your final results. which are going to obviously come next year, maybe in January when the department releases the results. And that is then that they go, when they receive the results, they're going to give that final offer of admission.
So you mostly apply with your term 2 grade 11 report, and they are waiting for your term 4 grade 11 report, or they wait for your grade 12 your grade 12 report.
So you're saying it's when you apply when you are in grade 11.
Yes.
Why are you not applying when you're in grade 12 when you have already had your grade 11 results?
Well, our teachers told us that it's better for us to apply now more than waiting for like grade 12 to apply. So I wanted to ask Bishop.
Who's Professor Basitera?
Prof. Basitera, are you still online? Because maybe he's the one to better answer that.
Hello, sorry.
This question about whether to apply with your grade 11 term 2 results or your grade 11 term 4 results.
This is at university.
Yes.
Yeah, it's term 4.
Yeah, normally what happens is when you apply, obviously say you are in grade 12, isn't it?
No, grade
11.
Grade 11.
Grade 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it's better to apply with your last after June. That's when anything is very clear. But remember what they do, they normally give what we call provisional acceptance. Provisional acceptance. And then from that provisional acceptance, it can be changed based on your results when you go further. Improve it.
So either way, the most
grade 11.
most recent, the latest one is the most.
The most, yes.
Yeah.
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 Well, even if they give you provisional acceptance, it does not mean that they will stick to it if your result changes.
Yeah. Are you answered?
Yeah, I am. Thank you.
And then again, if you are, I'm not sure if you have considered studying abroad, but when it comes to studying abroad, the academic year starts in September. So after your matric, the academic year usually starts September of that year. So by that time, I think you would have used, you won't even be using your grade 11 results.
Your final marks.
You'll be using your final marks, or even your grade 12, maybe your grade 12 final marks. Or if the scholarship closes earlier, you'll be using your mid-year grade 12 results. So this is when it comes to studying abroad.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I am answered now.
Okay. So either way, pass all the way. It doesn't matter. You have to be passing all the way and be consistent.
I am consistent. Thank you.
All right. Any more questions? Or even if it's not a question, a comment. How did you find today? Yes?
It seems like other people are not talking.
Yes, Divine. Let's hear from Divine, but we want to hear from everyone else because, guys, I think in life, when you get given an opportunity like this, you have to grab it with both hands, and you also can't be quiet because it's an opportunity to sell yourself. It's an opportunity to network. It's an opportunity to engage. It's an opportunity to engage with people who you wouldn't ordinarily engage with, you know. I think all of us would agree, Rodney, the older guys, Rodney, Moses, Ntomfuti, as well as myself, and people who are also old, the people who are older, who are still on this chat, would agree that these opportunities were not always available when we were young. We didn't know about these things. So yeah, I think it's important for you guys to grab these opportunities and yeah, also show appreciation. Yes, Divine?
Yes, I wanted to add a comment on what they said about looking for fake scholarships, and I do highly recommend you guys Uplifted Abroad that they join the group so that they can find out about legitimate scholarships, because you guys post the right stuff there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Rodney, there's a question here on TikTok. As a 43-year woman that never worked in my life, would I be given a chance to get a scholarship?
Absolutely, yes. The thing is that with scholarship, there are some scholarships that are like there is an age restriction. So some will say, oh, okay, nobody above the age of 30, you know, nobody above the age of 35. But there are also scholarships that they don't have an age restriction. So whether you are 43, you are 50, you can still get a scholarship, because it's about what is it that the scholarship is trying to achieve. And you know, and of course, even the issues of fairness and also equal opportunity. So it's really possible. So age is not a factor on the basis of what the scholarship is trying to achieve.
Okay. Okay, anyone else? Sorry, guys, my dog is barking out of control here. Okay, I just wanted to say that this was the first edition of this series that we want to have, where we'll have, I think every second week, we will be having another Zoom info session. We will be inviting panelists from various career paths. We've already confirmed quite a few professionals who have agreed to partner with us on this project. We have an epidemiologist that we're bringing on board. We have a guy who is working within AI who's agreed to come and speak to you guys. We've got some professionals within the retail sector who have agreed to come and speak to you guys. So this is really a great opportunity. And I hope you guys continue to attend. And I also hope you guys engage, you know, because the most important thing in life is that it's not about just sitting and listening. It's about engaging and participating, because it's an interchange of expertise and knowledge. And if you sit with your question that you want to ask, but you're shy to ask it, you'll never get the answer to it. So I encourage you guys to participate quite a lot. And that's how you're going to get benefit from the rest of it. And I also want to thank some of the older sisters and aunties who have spread the word for us and have actually decided to say, okay, I'm going to take a few kids from my community and have them, bring them to my house so that they can all sit around the session and listen. I want to thank you guys a lot.
And I'd also like to request Professor Basitera, there's going to be a day where we're going to be talking about higher education as well as research as a career path. So I would also like you to attend that session, but we'll discuss offline.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more comments or questions?
Well, I'll end up picking names here.
Pick names. Pick them. They know.
I will pick names for just to hear people's voices and like how do they find this session. I'm just gonna go. I'm just looking at the names here. I see Moano. Moano, are you able just to say how the session was for you? I think yeah.
Hi.
There we go. Yes.
There's a voice.
Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to Thank you guys for this. It was so insightful, to be honest, because I'm also interested in going abroad, but then I didn't know how to go about it. And I was really inspired by all of the stories that you guys shared about perseverance and how being successful, it's not actually dependent on the things that you've gone through, So I'd love to thank you guys for actually encouraging me. Yes.
That is great. So, Moana, before you step down, so what are you currently busy with? Are you high school? What university? What's happening?
Well, right now I'm in matric, and I'm still doing my high school education.
Yes. Okay. No, that is great. And then last question. So, what are you planning to study after matric?
Well, after matric, I have two options that I'm really looking into, medicine and chartered accountancy. So my heart is within those two professions.
Okay, I think Prof. Bastero will say the fact that you are in you have got a pure maths, then you are in the right direction. All right, great. Thanks, Moano. Thank you so much. Let me look for somebody else. Katleho, please talk to us.
Take the same name.
Katleho, I'm waiting for the mic to be unmuted.
Trying to unmute. Okay, hi.
Yeah, there we go. Hi.
I knew for some reason you're going to pick me, so I'm one of I'm one of the aunts. Not really, but I have invited Thando, who's doing matric, and Tseho, who's doing grade 11, over to my house for this session.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, so they can introduce themselves.
Yes, please. Yes, they have to. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm done with matric, so yeah.
Let them speak.
Let them speak.
Guys.
Hi guys.
Hello.
My name is Tseho Fato. I'm doing grade 11 and I'm doing math and science.
Okay, interesting. So what are your plans, Tseho Fato? What do you want to do when you jump the matric hurdle?
I'm not sure because I'm a talkative person. So I want to be in an environment whereby I'm talking to people. Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm not really sure what should I do.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. Yeah. Some career guidance there. All right. And the other one who's with you? I think they said you are two.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Tandongoma and I'm in grade 12. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm in matric, yes.
Great. And how did you find the session?
Due to this link because of my sister here, Katleho.
Okay.
How was it?
The session was actually encouraging, and I've picked a lot of advices. So thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Tando. Yes. Much appreciated. All right. Great.
Sorry.
Yes.
Hello. It's again. I just want to know because I'm a socializing person. So choosing this subject, I didn't really know what should I take this path, this subject will take me to the path that I want. I don't really understand the word.
Which subject are you talking about?
Math and science. I'm doing math and science. So I'm not sure that the math and science will take me to where I want.
What exactly is it that you want? What are you thinking? Because I think from the way Prof. Basitera explained it is that what we're saying is if you choose maths and science, it opens you up to almost everything. So whether you've done it and you still go into media and broadcasting, it's fine. But if you hadn't done it and then you decide along the way you want to do something within finance, you've already you've kind of like closed the door for yourself. So the point is that having that maths and science opens up a lot of doors. Even if you end up going into media, you know, there isn't always a specific thing that you have to do if you want to be going to media studies, but there are other courses where you have to have that basis. So choosing those subjects just gives you that opportunity to have broader choices in future. And again, it's not just about what you do after matric, that first qualification that you do. Some of us, we go through life and then we choose careers and we study and we become professionals in those careers. And then you get to the age of 40 and you want to change and do something else. But if you never had that basis, how will you go back and do that?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
All right. Can I just pick another one? Just can I pick Pranil Jairam? Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. Pranil?
Pranil Jairam.
Pranil is like, no, I'm not unmuting.
Unmute yourself, Pranil. Okay, so
Timo? Timo Mutau.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm not sure what to say. This session
Say
was
anything.
This session was pretty insightful. I learned a lot, and how I came about to find it is through my mom. She's in the Uplifted Abroad group.
Ah.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yay! Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. No, thank you. Thank you so much, Rodney, as well as Prof. Basitera for like joining us. Actually, Prof. Rodney, Prof. to be. Thank you for initiating this, because this is actually his brainchild. And I also want to thank Prof. Moses for joining us, and I'm hoping that he'll be a constant feature as we go along, because I think he really brings robust conversations that need to be had. They need to be had. Right.
Yeah. I'm not sure whether Divine's hand is it's a historical hand or or it's a recent one.
Historical hand, I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
Okay, Togo.
I just wanted to say that the section has been helpful so much, and yeah, the person that I'm with doesn't want to speak. Like, ever since we're here, she's been asking me to ask the questions. But anyway, we thank you.
No, she must speak. No, we want her to speak.
She has to speak.
She has to speak. No, it's unfair.
She had to do that, but she doesn't want to speak. When I
No, now we are commanding her to speak.
Thank you for the section.
All right, you're welcome.
It was very helpful.
Okay.
Nice, good to hear.
Prof. Basitera, do you have any last words?
Wow, last words. Yo, hey.
Any words of closing?
Yeah, I just want to say all the best. And then I'll always say, you know what, in life, always try to stand on the brighter side of every situation. And the brighter side is towards the side of mathematics, not on the side of mathematical literacy. The brighter side is you can do anything as long as you have maths and physics. That's all I can say. That's the brighter side. I would open myself to do anything that I want, rather than shortening up And actually when I'm in grade 9, when I'm still developing, you see what I'm saying? You know, yeah, that's what I would say.
I have a
Ayanda.
comment here from Eddie. And
Yes, yeah.
Eddie,
Ntombi,
yes.
Ntombi, yes, sorry. Yeah, I wanted about Eddie. I wanted to say Eddie, we should give Eddie to say something because I just remember that I've been seeing the comments from Eddie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Over to you, Eddie.
Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you very much for a brilliant session we had and all beautiful presentation from Prof and everyone else. So yeah, no, I was just listening on the site, and one of the things I learned since I came here was the emphasis on psychological well-being, particularly for learners. Young people today, and particularly in South Africa, are facing different challenges. And it's always wise as well for aunties to remember to care for them holistically, because it's not just about careers, do maths, do that. When sometimes you don't realize that a person has a hidden psychological challenge. And in some instances, it could even be, you know, in this instance here, they call it neurologically diverse.
Diverse, yeah.
Yes, neurological diversity. So it includes everything: ADHD, post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety, all of those things, because of things that young people get exposed to, especially in our country. So we need to always be aware of those things so that at least when we, encourage them to pursue these careers, at least, they are cared for holistically. But otherwise, this is a very good program. I'm hoping that, friends and learners who are here will go and invite more learners in the next session. We were up to 30 today. I was trying to look at the numbers, and I'm sure that in future we'll go up to 100 because you young learners will be inviting your friends as well. This is a very good platform. I'm hoping that we are all going to join Uplifted Abroad, and it's going to be beautiful. I mean, as I said earlier, we only have 26 universities in South Africa, and with my stats that I wrote there, if 150,000 learners need university placement, they will not have space. They will not have space in South Africa. At the most, 100,000. I mean, not even 100,000. At the most, it could be about 50,000. I'm just now taking a random number. 50,000 will be accommodated in all universities we have, and 100,000 will be loitering in the streets. So thinking about going abroad is also a very good idea. And yeah, it's beautiful. Thank you very much for this session. Let me not take too long. Thank you.
Thank you, Bra Eddie. Thank you. Yeah, you've been in the comment assisting there. We really, really appreciate it. So those of you obviously don't know Bra Eddie is also based in the UK. Yeah, so yeah, really good to have you.
You guys are in good hands, eh?
And he's also an upliftee abroadee. Mara Bra Eddie owes me papers, but it's fine.
Look, with Prof here as well, I'm sure I'll get some motivation, and yourself, by the way, Toby.
Yeah, that's why I want to invite Prof again to come, because, I think research is a career path that is also not spoken about. And it's not only in higher education. I mean, you've got your CSIR, you've got all these different research institutions. And that's something that I also hope Professor Basitere is going to encourage the young ones to follow. Because now he made me follow it. But anyway, it's fine.
Cool. All right.
Rodney, do you have any last words?
I think I've spoken very much, but I don't have last words. I have parting words.
Yes.
Last words say it sounds so bad.
So final.
Yeah, like final, yeah. But anyway, for me, it's just to say that I think these I mean, we are taking our time to come here and spend time with you guys. You know, so I hope that in the next series that we're gonna be doing in terms of bringing in other professionals to come in and share more here in terms of the fields they are in, you know, it will really be helpful, at least for you guys to even ask questions and, you know, interact with people that are within the field of interest. So, but other than that, have yourself a wonderful weekend, and we're gonna catch up in the next session of the series. Thank you, Ayanda. And Toby.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Rosie's dumping.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
It's